Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into a detailed analysis of subclass 491 visa grants for the month of March 2025. We've looked at a sample of actual grants reported by applicants on platforms like social media and forums. And while it doesn't represent the full picture, it gives us a strong idea of what the Department of Home Affairs has been processing lately, including which month's applications were granted, top occupations, and onshore versus offshore trends. Let's get started. Part 1. Lodgement Month Analysis. In February 2025, based on FOI data, most of the 491 visa grants were for applications lodged in June and July 2023. That trend seems to have moved forward slightly in March. Based on our sample from March 2025, the majority of 491 visa grants were for applications lodged between July and October 2023. Let me break that down. July 2023 applications still featured, but in smaller numbers compared to February. August and September 2023 made up the largest share of grants. We also saw a good number of October 2023 lodgements being processed. A few isolated cases from November and December 2023 were also granted, likely low complexity or priority applications. This suggests that DHA is now steadily moving into the second half of 2023 lodgements, with August-October being the sweet spot for March 2025 grants. So if your 491 application was lodged around this time and you haven't received a grant yet, your file might be coming up soon. Part 2. Top occupations granted. Now, let's talk about which occupations received the most grants in our sample. Leading the list were ICT professionals, especially software engineers and developers. Engineering roles, such as civil engineers, mechanical engineers, and electrical engineers. Health professionals, including registered nurses, physiotherapists, and medical lab technicians. Trades like chefs, motor mechanics, and electricians, and also accountants and early childhood teachers, to some extent. ICT and engineering roles clearly made up a strong chunk of the grants, which is consistent with Australia's continued demand for these skill sets, especially in regional areas. Healthcare roles also continued to see decent grant activity, although the volume was lower compared to peak periods in 2023. Part 3. Onshore versus offshore. In terms of visa location at the time of grant, we saw a higher percentage of grants going to onshore applicants. From our sample, approximately 70% of the grants were for onshore applicants and 30% for offshore. This suggests that DHA might still be prioritizing applicants who are already within Australia, possibly due to quicker background checks and medical processing. However, offshore applicants are still being granted steadily, and the offshore percentage has slightly improved compared to earlier months. Part 4. Statewise observations. Looking at the sample data, we noticed a higher number of grants associated with applicants nominated by South Australia, Tasmania, and New South Wales. However, it's important to clarify that visa grants are processed solely by the Department of Home Affairs, DHA, and the nominated state does not influence the speed of processing. So if we're seeing more grants from particular states in this sample, it's likely just a coincidence or a reflection of more applications lodged from those states during that period. Your state nomination helps you get invited, but once the visa is lodged, the grant process is entirely in the hands of DHA, and all applications are treated on a federal level regardless of the nominating state. Part 5. What this means for you. So what can we learn from all of this? If you lodged your 491 visa between August and October 2023, you're likely in the current grant processing window. Onshore applicants still seem to have an edge in terms of speed, so if you're offshore, just hang in there. Your turn is coming. Occupations in ICT, engineering, healthcare, and skilled trades are still being granted actively, so the demand for these roles continues in regional Australia. And remember, processing times can still vary case by case, depending on health checks, character assessments, and the complexity of your application. It's important to note that all observations in this video are based solely on sample data collected from March 2025 grants. The actual grant pattern for March can only be accurately analyzed once the official FOI data is released by the Department of Home Affairs. Until then, this analysis should be seen as indicative, not definitive. That's it for this month's breakdown of 491 visa grants for March 2025. I'll be back with more updates as we track these trends month by month. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for regular updates on Australian immigration and visa trends. Let me know in the comments, when did you lodge your 491, and have you received your grant yet? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.